Coach, just give us your assessment on the game Chris Streveler had tonight and tied a career high 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah, I think it's exciting because we all played it. The guys all played pretty well, and but I think he expects that, right? And we expect that out of him, right? Still fun and nice. Like the excitement is about how much fun they're having on the field. I don't know that the excitement's like, wow, I did it or anything like that. He expects that out of himself, and so do we. So it's good. It's still good.
Matthew Peterson thrust into action there and looked pretty damn good while doing it. Maybe just give your assessment of his performance.
Yeah, really good as well. I think that's a good indicator of our O-line play too, right? It always is when you can run the ball like that. But I thought he made some nice cuts. Obviously finished off a big long run in the end zone, so very pleasing for him. We had a lot of young guys step up and play well, and it's not without some plays they'd like to have back, but that's every football game. So really pleased for a bunch of those young guys that got a taste of it and tasted victory too.
You guys, I think since 2017, I think the stat is 18-1 now off of a bye. Now I know this bye is a little bit different than maybe some midseason byes, but is there anything that you can kind of point to that's like why you guys have had so much success in this spot?
Yeah, I don't know. I read somewhere just recently, statisticians are always proved right. Whatever that means, I don't know. 18-1, I don't really care. I mean, it's a completely new group, a lot of new coaches, and I think if you're going to pinpoint one thing, they put in the work, even though there was some days off. The players stuck around, probably because I made them, but they stuck around and they didn't waste that time. They were in here anyway, so they just put the work in together.
Last one for me. I know that the second half, maybe BC's offense was able to open it up a little bit, but just in the first half specifically, I mean, felt like there was pressure on Rourke. It was he was running for his life, and then it was a lot of smothering from the defense.
Yeah, there's some rust there on my part too. I think I could have done things a little differently at the end of the first half and got us out of there without giving up points right at the end of the half. Yeah, I got to clean that up for sure.
Whether it was buying time for Chris or opening lanes for Matthew, just the play of the O-line, it seemed like it was in mid-season form in week 1. You usually expect kind of growing pains.
No, a good group a good mix of young guys and veterans that lead, a coach that is at the top of the game, and I think some nice play calls too, right? Just the way it worked. I thought they dialed it up pretty good. But certainly have to look at it a little more closely. But I'm sure we wanted to be a physical team, and I think we did that.
On Matthew Peterson, I mean, you ask these guys to be ready at any moment, right? And they're working hard and preparing for their opportunities. And of course, you expect that out of them when they get that opportunity. But for a guy playing his first Canadian Football League game, I mean, it seemed like it's a bit more than just being prepared. What have you seen from him from training camp and throughout doesn't maybe make you surprised at what you saw?
If you look back at his university career, he wasn't just good, he was exceptional, right? So that's just got to, at some point, through coaching, through whatever, I'm sure he believed he could make the jump to the next step. I don't know that he believed it would be easy or anything like that, but he knew it was going to be work. And once again, coaching staff does a really good job of getting them prepared. And, as young guys, I would say for the most part, the guys that are here are just really dialed into learning and trying to be better on a daily basis, right? And he's one of them. He's very conscientious, extremely conscientious. So, but he was exceptional in university. So just, he got an opportunity. It's pro sport. There's a lot of guys not playing that just didn't quite get the opportunity that they needed, right? And he got one. No.
Just on Trey, his first game, punt return, kick return, picked up a fumble on special teams. Just kind of your thoughts on his first game tonight.
Yeah, very happy for him. He seemed to be all over the place, and he plays hard. He certainly, in my mind, he punches way above his weight class. He's got that good mindset, you know, in terms of how hard he likes to play the game. It's pretty cool.
Did you find a new kick returner, you think, today? Did you discover that?
I think he's quite capable. Yep. All right, you know, I think we've got a bunch of guys in our building that can do it.
Sure. What, you got the adversity of, you know, you're starting with a buck and you lose Brady, and that's two big pieces in the offense. What kind of lesson is there to be learned from maybe new guys who haven't gone through as much adversity as pros? What did they learn
Yeah,
from all
I
this?
think the lesson that they've already learned and learned a long time ago, I didn't even really listen to your question because I was just, in my head, I'm already going where I think the leaders have to realize how important it is that they lead. And I think they know that, you know, but this is another, I think, a very good reminder. The coaches, they're always going to work and they're always going to present plans and coach guys, and, you know, sometimes it seems just relentless, the things we say over and over again. But I like what our core group of players can do, and it just is another good reminder that their leadership really matters to bringing young guys along, and quickly.
And what kind of words, if any, did you exchange with Buck after?
And that's between him and I.
Okay, fair enough. Penalties, the one thing you think maybe?
Too many URs.
Yeah.
We took some liberties that we shouldn't do, and, you know, and our guys know better. They come right off the field, they're already saying, yep, I did it. You know, they don't need to see it on film tomorrow. They will, but they certainly, you don't want to give a team like that too many more chances. I mean, it's hard to win if you're giving up 15 every so often.
Overall, how did this compare to expectations or hopes?
Yeah, I'm never going to try and write down a score,
No.
you know, but did I believe we could win the game? Yep, no doubt.
Thanks, John.
I know how much you love your special teams and your vet, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Shane Gauthier, 10-year vet, getting in there long snapping in place of Mike Benson.
Yep.
Impressive?
Yep. No, not impressive. Expected, you know. We're happy for him, right? He's happy. We're happy. It was awesome, you know, stepping in there for his teammates and making sure he's got their back. That's all important stuff. I mean, that's what I think our guys are happiest about. But, yeah, he can snap for sure. You know, what you don't see is the film on day 3 of him doing all this extra work, not snapping, but all this extra work at the end of drills, in the backs of lines as a 9-year vet, you know, that is just continually doing more work and more work and more work because he loves what he does and he wants his teammates wants to do well for his teammates. So the snapping is one thing, but the stuff he does at practice is great leadership too.
Remember last year against Montreal, you guys had a tough first game, and you said, I kind of felt this coming. Like, you seem to have a kind of a premonition after camp, like you might have a slow start. Tonight, you guys came like you were fired out of a cannon.
Well, we had a
What'd you
different
change?
camp. We had a much different camp.
How so?
It's just the guys were tuned in more. You know, I don't know. I think we pushed them pretty good.
And clearly they responded.
I don't know that they responded. I think it's the idea that we put the work in, and it shows. I don't know that it's an emotional response. I just think it's the amount of quality work that they put in. I think the easy thing to understand is, I mean, it's not always, but to give yourself a chance, if you work hard, you focus, you don't put the time in, you frickin' give it everything you got, then you have chance to win. You have a chance to win, right? I don't, like I said, I don't know that there's a response. I think it's just good practice could result in good games.
Do the work and good result.
You'd think.
Makes it sound then like last year's camp was a slack up.
No, I just didn't feel the same. Just didn't feel the same. You're partway through it and you're like, kind of like, not sure what we're doing it.
So you learned something even after 9 years in the league as a coach.
Always.
Just want to ask about the crowd. Six-way sellout. You guys mentioned the crowd.
No, they're phenomenal. You know, could spend a whole another half hour talking about the crowd and the support the guys get and what it looks like outside the stadium hours before, you know, and I know it's construction season, so people just slugging it out to get here and getting here early and having fun, and it's worth it. You know, our players really understand how powerful they are as a group, how much support they have, and once again, I think, you know, our players would hope that they are a source of pride for the fans. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.